AEW Dynamite from September 24th. So this show right here, I thought it was one of their better shows in a long time. What I got from this show is that everyone gets a title shot, and that's what I want to talk about. Okay, so we have Hangman Adam Page. He has an open challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. Why do you have a challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship? That is ridiculous. You should have people coming for you. So I'm not a fan of that, especially for the World Championship. So he had a match against Mr. Lee Moriarty. Um, Mr. Lee Moriarty, he is the Ring of Honor. What is he? The Ring of Honor World Pure Champion. And I actually like Lee. I think he's really good in the ring. But the thing is, why is he challenging Hangman Adam Page? Lee to me, and I don't watch Ring of Honor. There's only so much stuff that you can watch, in a week. But Lee, to me, like the last time he was on AEW Dynamite, he was booked as a jobber. So why is this guy, Lee, who's not even a main eventer, why is he facing Hangman Adam Page for the championship? That doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, they had a match, and I think they were in Lee Moriarty's hometown or whatever. Yeah, they were. So I'm like, okay, I get that, but still, it doesn't make any sense. Hangman Adam Page, he should have some promo or building up his next story, with someone else who's going to, have some kind of intriguing storyline with someone else, his next challenger. So anyway, they have the match, and before the match started, I was thinking, I said, there's no way. They better not go 20 minutes. The World Heavyweight Champion should not be having a 20-minute match with Lee. So that did not happen. They did a few things, and then Hangman hit Lee with the dead eye, and that was the match. I don't know how long they went. I think it was under 10 minutes, I believe. So that really surprised me, but I'm happy that it was not a long match. And then also this match right here, this was for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, Brodido versus GOA, pretty much Ricochet's boys. And Brodido beat GOA. My thing about this, okay, where did this come from? Unless if they did something on Collision, but why are people just getting title shots? And I believe, hey, once in a while, there's nothing wrong with that. I know this is wrestling, they can do whatever, but still. And my thing about Brodido, I know they are pushing these guys as they are the tag team champions, and I know they are pushing them, as the top tag team babyface team. So I get that, but they shouldn't be going against GOA because the fact is GOA, they just defeated the Hurt Syndicate at AEW All Out. So why are they losing, because they just scored their biggest victory. I mean, I know that Ricochet, he pinned MVP during that match, but still. So I'm like, okay, don't you want to build these guys up so they shouldn't just lose like that? I don't understand that. And then anyway, what are they called? Orange Cassidy. He made his return, and he was in a in what is it called? In a tag match, trios tag match, I guess. Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, and Hologram, they defeated the Don Callis family. I'm so sick and tired of Don Callis and his family, especially Don Callis, because there's some wrestlers like Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher. I like those guys, and a few other guys I like, but I'm just so sick and tired of him as a manager. He doesn't mean anything as a manager. It's just ridiculous to me. So anyway, the Orange Cassidy's team, they won. Hologram pinned one of the guys. And I'm like, okay, Orange Cassidy, even though I'm not a fan, why didn't he get the pin? But then I guess because the next segment, Kyle Fletcher, he came out. And Kyle Fletcher, he delivered. I feel like that was a really good promo. And I feel like it was his best promo so far. But the thing about his promo, like the first part, he sounded like a baby face. He sounded like a good guy. He was like, I didn't beat Adam Page. at AEW All Out, but I gave it my all, and I proved that I can hang with the best, and that I will be a future world heavyweight champion. I will be a main eventer. I belong there. I'm like, what? Why is a bad guy? Why is he saying that? It doesn't make any sense. That was just ridiculous to me. But anyway, Kyle Fletcher, his whole thing was, he wanted to challenge Hologram to a match because Hologram is undefeated. I think Hologram is 34-0. I'm like, why is Hologram undefeated? And why is Kyle Fletcher going to challenge this guy for his what championship does Kyle Fletcher have? The TNT championship, I believe. Like, why? I just didn't get that. And then Miss Kris Statlander, she's my favorite female wrestler in AEW. She had a match against Miss Mina, and she defeated Mina. In this match right here, Mina got a lot of offense in, and I'm thinking, why? What was the build up? And I'm not saying every single match has to be a build up, because sometimes you just want to put on a title match, I guess, just to give the fans something, but while the fact that she just won this title, why is she going against Mina just out of the blue? I really don't like that, because it means to me that anyone can get a title shot. So Mina got a lot of offense in, and then eventually Kris Statlander rolled her up. So I'm just not a fan of that. Right now, Kris Statlander, she should be just dominating and just taking care of business. She kind of, in a way, like how I know they're not like super similar, but Rhea Ripley, like Kris Statlander reminds me of Rhea Ripley. Like how they just, how they're just, dominant in the ring. And just like, I guess their style of wrestling, that's what I'm saying. But Kris Statlander, she should just be taking care of business like how Rhea Ripley was doing when she was the champion. That's what they should be doing with Kris Statlander. It's not that difficult. And then Tony Khan, he announced the AEW Women's World the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship. So the women are going to have tag team titles. So that should be really interesting. I think that's cool for the women to have tag team to have a tag team championship. I think that's really cool. My thing about it, they have a lot of work to do when it comes to the women's division and just overall with just improving the shows. But let's see what's going to happen. Like I said, I enjoy the AEW from this week, and I feel like it was a better show, and I hope that it will continue to get better. And this week, the rating 638,000. So that is pretty good. It's down a little from last week. I think last week was 680 something. So it was not bad. So I hope that they continue to improve the show. And eventually, I would like to see AEW get to 800,000, maybe a million. Maybe I'm crazy. I think it's possible. But it comes to having just a better show, better matches, creating these stars, getting people over. Because I just look at some people, some of the wrestlers like Hobbs, Takeshita, several other wrestlers. These guys, they could have been stars. They could have been main eventers, and they should be right now. And I look at them, and they're like in the same spot or same spots that they were in last a couple of years ago. So it's time to make some changes. And also Hook, like when he was over big time at one point, and now he's back. It's just like, oh, there goes Hook again. He's on the same old nonsense. So we shall see.